I see you up there, little man. Uh-huh.
Welcome back to another, I don't know if I'm in the shot, welcome back to another riveting, stunning review by me. We are talking about the new Taake record. In all seriousness, we are talking about the new Taake record, Vinter. Sort of like Long Winter, but not at all. This record is a black metal piece. It comes from a single mastermind, H-O-E-S-T, host. But I believe on this record he plays every instrument. That's a bold claim, I know, but I believe it's true. And Vinter is really this overarching classical black metal where it just has these punishing riffs and percussion, but also can take a step back, and it really introduces some new modern ideas. And that's where the record, I think, is really just going to shine, pull through as its own individual piece. To be honest, when I first listened, I was kind of a little underwhelmed, only because the record doesn't introduce anything that's really stand out, but it does use atmospheric sound, and there are moments where the sound is really horrific, and it becomes this really daunting kind of overlapping style of horror and black metal, which are usually one and the same. The record is really just unrelenting at times, which is common of most black metal records, but here I think that Host does it in such a way that is at least becomes interesting through the atmospheric sound and the pausing that really makes these moments shine. With bands that are 100% a grinding pound that are just like continuously destroying, they kind of get muddled up and each song kind of sounds similar, and even though that is a classic style, it really does kind of get repetitive. And here, there's enough variety to really mix up the sound and really become something interesting throughout each listen. So I know that I'm probably going to butcher some of these translations, but the first track is Feed Its By, and it really isn't earth-shattering. It is almost like a mix of riffs and percussion, and even a little bit of like vocals that are really flooding over and kind of overpowering slightly. I think that his voice is really dark and growly, at least, and it fits well with the music. And I can't really see it being used in something like a prog rock as the way that Host uses it. I think that his voice is really substantial to Vinter and to Taake as well. Just in general, I think that his voice is always one of the setting pieces that really just sets the mood and becomes something a little stronger throughout each release. I personally saw that this was at least a good opening track, a good introduction. I think that it's full. It has a lot of potential behind it. But the band is great here and very well produced, I should say that. The sound, while semi-low fidelity, is actually really crisp, which I know makes no sense, but listening to it, you can tell what instrument is what. And there's really no kind of mystery behind it, which is the modern element of the sound. Low fidelity is usually in black metal it can sometimes be a killer to the record because it sounds like it was recorded in a basement. I know most of the times it was. And sometimes that's a good thing, and other times it's a bad thing. Taake balances it well with the atmosphere, and that's kind of where the tracks here, present at least, are able to shine very well through this filter of low fidelity and semi-bad recording. And this is kind of where I think that the record is this man gonna arrest me? Oh boy. But this is where the record is really interesting, I think. And then there's these two dueling tracks called Hoose It, I Have It, and Have It, I Hoose It. They're a dueling track in the way that they just become maniacal, and Host's vocals here are just like relentlessly aggressive and really belligerent, and they show these really just ugly sides of the record. And this is where the riffs really start to come in strong, and where the record can really start to become this zenith, I suppose, of sound.
just the ugliness behind it is, I think, a great factor. It's where Kong Vinter is really just becoming its own. And they show a really balanced side of Host's consciousness and his flow of creativity that comes from the sound. The atmosphere is perfect here, the riffs are amazing, and the percussion really is this mix of really strong, pounding percussion that just attacks and attacks and attacks. But then it pulls back and shows these really, not softer sides, but these single fury songs that are just crashes and just simulate this like wave of heavy rain coming over the listener. And that's even on kind of the later tracks. The last two, I think, are really substantial as well. The track Main Brent comes to mind. The record really shows this full fighting force of fury and alliteration, and becomes the strength and numbers of where the sound becomes this giant crashing wall and just attacks the listener. And this is where it transitions into the final track, Fra Bajor Gegrid Mont Clemson. And this track
really just going to be the final kind of substantial piece here. The modern versus the classic, the clashing of the kind of themes here. It just shows this level of authenticity behind the sound, and really is a passageway onto the inevitable silence that comes with the end of the record. The way the guitars shift from becoming these very melodic and harmonious kind of instruments to being these really ugly and just gritting your teeth kind of instruments, incredible. There's not enough really that I could say about this record that can't be summed up into the end, as the last song really does package everything together well that you've heard over the last 50 or so minutes. It takes the atmospheric sounds, it takes the guitars, the percussion, rough vocals, but also it takes the step back and kind of lets the music settle. And Kong Vinter is really, at the end of the day, a classical black metal album that's set in 2017. It in no way really does anything that's incredibly boundary shifting or really that is going to change the formula for 20 years or 10 years or even the next year. But I think it is at least an influential record in the way that it can do a sound and do it very well. And that's what's going to keep me coming back to it in the end, is the way that the sound is carried and taken back into. Take X Matt's Music Mind. Check it out, Matt's Music Mind X Take. Through the first listen, I wasn't really intrigued, but then as I kept going and going and going, it really did become something that I found to be overall encapturing. So, as I said, check this record out. Links will be in the description if you ever want to hear it. Still experimenting with the formula and trying to get it right, but I think as it gets colder, I don't know what I'm going to do when it snows outside for reviews. I don't know if I'm still going to go outside or if I'm going to try to find shelter somewhere like a bridge and do some reviews like that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the reviews, obviously, and I'm going to keep doing them and trying to do them every Friday. And really, I have to compile a video of 2017 favorites, which is not going to have all 2017 releases as I did last year with my 2016 releases. So I hope you guys are prepared for that, all 19 subscribers. Almost to 20, let's get it cut. I enjoy doing this, so it's not about numbers or money or whatever. What is this guy doing? Is he gonna fucking... I might get killed. This might be my last video, actually. Thank you guys for watching. Check out Take. They're a really good band with a lot of history, actually. And they do this record very well. So, yeah, that's it. Bada bing, bada beachy, your Alfredo is complete.